In this short video, we're going to be talking about the theme of trading essentials, and the lesson today will be around choosing the right broker and the right charting platform. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about a couple of topics, and that's around choosing the right broker and choosing the right charting platform. But one thing to bear in mind is that the right broker and the right charting platform for you will be very much dependent upon a number of things. For instance, your starting capital base, the instruments you trade, the time frame you trade, and what type of trader you are. So bear that in mind as we get into some of the other considerations in this video. So first and foremost, let's talk about choosing the right broker. There are really five main key areas here. That's around price, margin requirements, speed, service and support, and reliability. Let's quickly get into each one of these topics. First off is price. First and foremost is always price. So the difference in choosing an expensive broker and a more discount broker can oftentimes mean the difference between being profitable and not profitable, because commissions and fees can really eat into your trading profits, especially if you trade a lot or if your edge is very small. If you're an active trader, you also want to be looking into brokers who offer things like rebates for liquidity providers. That means if you're a very active trader and you trade a large amount of shares or volume, then there's programs where you can actually earn rebates based upon providing liquidity to the markets in the form of limit orders. Lastly, if you'd say you trade ETFs, then maybe looking for certain brokers who actually offer free ETF trading could be of interest. As well, if you're a Forex trader, there are, of course, most Forex traders don't offer any commission on the trades, but you definitely need to research upon how they're creating the spreads around that, because you need to be really understanding who's making money in each transaction. Okay, the next topic will be around margin requirements. Now, it's well known that margin is a double-edged sword, but depending on which instruments you trade, margin can make a really big difference. So if you know you have a trading edge, then you want to use as little of your deposit as possible to make the most amount of money as possible. So do the research to find out which broker can give you the best bang for the buck, with the realization that the margin works both ways. When you win big, you can win. That's great. But if you lose, it's also going to cut the other way. Okay, so you'll see that different brokers will have different margin requirements by the different instruments. So it's incumbent on you to go through each broker and then search for the one that has the best margin based upon the instruments that you're going to be trading, or most often trading. Next is speed. When we talk about speed, we're talking about a number of things. First off is execution. So just how quick or how long does it take for your actual order to get fulfilled? So by the time you enter your order in, you enter buy or sell, how quick is that broker in actually fulfilling your order? Is it taking time? Is there a bit of a lag? Is there a bit of a lag due to the actual interface that's being used? All this has to be taken into consideration. So for instance, speed of order entry is another factor. How efficient or clunky is the broker's software around order entry? Are you constantly hunting and pecking to enter in orders? Is it taking a long time to enter an order in? Or is the experience smooth and frictionless and you can get in your orders quickly? Incumbent in that is also ease of use, right? If we're talking about a clunky interface, how easy does it actually enter in an order? All these things will factor into this decision around picking the right broker. So once again, if you're a longer term trader, then having a very quick order entry process may not be that important. But if you're intraday trading and you're trying to get in orders quickly, this will be of critical importance. Next up is around service and support. So first off, as you mentioned already, is around ease of use. The easier the broker software, the less support you're going to need. So just how easy is that broker software? So it's you'll see with many brokers, you'll have a chance to actually trial out their software. And I definitely recommend that so that you can actually get a feel for whether or not you like using that broker software or not. How easy is it to use? How intuitive is it? Also, very important around service and support is the education that the broker offers. Do they run regular webinars and educational webinars to help you learn not just the broker's tools, but also just around learning how to trade in general? Are they talking about other instruments and other markets that you can learn about? These are all really great things to have when you first begin. Also, part of service and support is around reporting, analytics, and tax documentation. Not the sexiest of topics, but it's very, very, very important to understand what that broker has to offer. So how easy is it for you to get a P&L report? How customizable is it? And of course, how good is the tax documentation? Are you going to be able to get the required numbers on a timely basis to get to your accountant or to do your yearly taxes? And lastly, how easy is it to get a hold of someone at the broker? So in the worst case scenario, if you put an order in and your internet goes down, how are you going to manage that? If you need to call the broker to manage that order, how quick can you get someone on the phone and have that handled? Finally, it's reliability. And reliability, we have a couple of things you need to be looking for here. First off is just general uptime. How solid is this broker? Is there service intermittence and you notice blackouts on a regular basis? Or do they have a really high level of uptime where, anytime you want to enter an order in or want to use the platform, that it's there and ready for you to use? Second is the actual reliability and quality of that broker itself. So the broker software, how good is the software? Are you comfortable using it? Does it crash often? Does it act buggy? And lastly, around reliability is business stability. What's the actual reputation of the broker? Is the broker a public company, or is it a small private boutique company? There's no right or wrong answers, but if you choose a private company or a smaller company, you may have that better boutique experience sometimes, but you may not have the reputation there. Where do you feel secure keeping your money? If you're going to be depositing your money somewhere, you want to make sure that that broker is going to be along for the long run. Let's switch gears now and let's talk about choosing the right charting platform. And we have 6 topics we're going to talk about here very quickly. First off is around features, then data access, price, hardware requirements, stability, and lastly, portability. First and foremost is the discussion of features. Now, many brokers do not have great charting platforms out of the box. In fact, for many brokers, many traders step away from the broker and look for third-party charting platforms to sort of fill in the gap. So things like custom indicators, the ability to create new indicators, the ability to customize the scripts that are there, the ability to do back testing, the ability to have market replay. These are all features that may interest you that may not be out of the box in your broker software. So depending on which one of these features interest you, then you may need to look for a third-party charting platform. So do your diligence and decide which of those features are most important to you, which are going to be the ones that you're going to be required to trade, and then begin to search for the different charting platforms that are out there and that are going to fit your needs. Second is around market data access. So this is going to be one of the criteria around choosing the right charting platform. Some charting platforms, they may only support one or two markets. So for instance, it's not uncommon for many charting platforms to only support, let's say, stock and options, but not support futures and things like Forex and so forth. So which of the markets that you trade are most important to you? And then plan for the future. So let's say you start off with options, but at some point you're thinking about investigating futures. Then you might want to begin looking for charting platforms that support those markets. At the same time, you'll also begin to see that you may also have to have pay for additional costs around accessing some of these markets. So we're going to move on to price here, but also seeing what the data plans are like in terms of subscribing to market data will be very important. So some charting platforms partner with certain brokers to allow you to get free access to some of that market data, but sometimes you're going to have to pay right out of pocket to get access to that market data. So part of the decision-making process will be to see what markets your charting platform supports, whether or not that can be offset with the broker you choose, and then that will ultimately perhaps reduce the price you need to pay to gain access to some of these markets. The other topic around price is around the actual price for the charting platform itself. Because these are third-party charting platforms, there's oftentimes an additional cost to them. So what's the additional cost? Is it a one-time fee or is it monthly? So If it's a one-time fee, usually it's a higher fee, but then it's lifetime access. Otherwise, choosing monthly is oftentimes great to begin to trial out a charting platform, but over time it becomes a large capital expenditure or a large incurred cost. So you need to balance that with that one-time cost of buying that platform. All right. Next up is around hardware requirements. So the best of breed charting platforms, they offer a lot of functionality, and the cost is that they also require a lot of hardware. We see nowadays that we can actually have a number of really good web options out there, such as TradingView, which have very low requirements. All you need to have is a web-based browser. So depending on what kind of hardware you're starting out with, you're going to need to make that decision. If you're going to pick some of these more desktop-based Windows charting platforms, maybe you're a Mac person, you're going to need to decide on which of these charting platforms you're going to use based upon what hardware you want to invest in. If you're a Mac person and you're picking a program that only run on Windows, then you're going to have to move over to Windows or invest in a Windows desktop or laptop. Or you can sort of do with all those hardware requirements by going to a web-based platform, but then sometimes the sacrifice is that there's less functionality and less extendability with that charting platform. Next is stability. Just how stable is the charting platform? Is it reliable? And what's the quality of the software? So just like with the broker's reliability, with the charting platform itself, how stable is it? Is it crashing often? Do you find the quality of software to be high? If you run into bugs and issues with the software, is the software developer, does that person seem to be responsive? Do they have a long history of maintaining and upgrading the software over time? And the last part of stability is around just your backups. So what happens if your trading computer crashes? Is there a standard protocol as part of this charting platform to be able to back up all the charts and all your layouts and all your indicators and so forth, and have that stored somewhere, whether that's in the cloud or in something like a Dropbox, and have it easily ported over to, let's say, a brand new computer? So something to be thinking about as you plan your business operations. And the final topic is around portability. So nowadays, with the mobile lifestyle we all have, it's very nice to be able to have a charting platform that is both desktop based, but that also has great mobile support. So if you're going to be changing location, so be trading from your office and then trading on the road, how good is the mobile software? Or does it even have mobile software? How good are the charts on the road? How good is the execution? What is the alerting like? Can you enter in orders? Can you watch your trades? What's the time frame? What are the indicators? And so on and so forth. So again, depending on how often you trade, this will really be a factor or not a factor, but having portability and being able to move your trading from location to location is also a very, very important consideration. So in conclusion, choosing the right broker and charting platform is probably one of the most important decisions you can make when you first start trading. And at the end of the day, as I mentioned right in the beginning, the choice really depends on A, what instruments you trade, B, how often you trade, and C, what type of trader you are. I hope some of the points we made in this video help you along your trading journey. Happy trading.